Hey, what's up guys? Bob here. Welcome to another guide I'm doing for Dragon Ball FighterZ. This time, I got inspired because I was messing with my team comp a little bit. Normally I have Cell up front here, but I figured that Gogeta offers something to my team that Cell doesn't, so I wanted to mess around with him for a little bit, and it's got me thinking about the idea, so I figured, let's just go ahead and talk about it. So, as the video title suggests, yes, we're talking about synergy for this game. Now, first of all, let me actually show how I have my notes generally sorted. What I usually do is I just assemble like literally everything into one giant notepad file and just delete it afterwards. So if you want my master list notes, here you go. I'm going to be referring back to this often. Also, I don't really script these out. Like literally, I don't script these. So, synergy. This is a obviously it's at the top of a notepad. It's something that I feel like is extremely nebulous when it comes to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Generally because most things in this game will work with each other to some capacity. Like, this isn't like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 where certain things are only able to work with certain characters. It's been forever since I started the game, so I can't give you examples, but for the most part, if you slap 3 characters together and give them an assist, you can generally make it work in this game. So the way I'm going to define synergy is, in a loosest sense, it's generally like most assists in this game, or most characters that can help each other out to some capacity. Like, if I can give a number, like maybe an assist gives like a +3 to a character for like mix-up or neutral. Like, for example, Trunks' assist, a beam assist generally helps across the board. Like, LC helps a neutral because I can approach with a hitbox behind me. Helps me with combos because I can generally like do low angle juggles and do stuff like that. What if I have the timing for this? No, I don't. But imagine that landed. It generally helps with other stuff, etc. But some assists or setups help in such a way that it bolsters it to like a +4 or +5. This must be a really weird analogy, but like imagine like it's like a RPG of some sort, and some weapons give you better assists than others or better benefits than others because they have like matching stats, matching armor sets, etc. It's kind of like that in the broadest sort of way possible, but I'll explain things as we go forward. So on that note, generally there's a couple of things that characters use assists or synergy to do. One is to help patch a hole in the game plan. Another is to help do something they do already decently, but better. That might sound incredibly obvious, but it's a lot more exact than you would think. So, for example, Gogeta here, he's already got a pretty good neutral thanks to like 3 beams at the very least. Having a 2M that goes pretty much full screen, a 5H that goes pretty much full screen, a really respectable 5H, a really good 5M because it's got this much reach, a good 2L. Basically, if you ever want to make an approach from full screen, you generally have the option to. Oh yeah, especially with this bullshit. God love Season 3.5, holy crap. But Trunks, with his assist, will allow me to do that just a little bit better. In essence, it will allow me to make an approach easier. Something like that maybe. I'm just bullshitting. But yeah, that's like the loosest idea of like just tacking on assist to do something but better. Where with Gogeta, however, something that would actually benefit him a lot is essentially his mix-up. So for example, normally Gogeta has like, he's got 2 lows, he's got 1 standing overhead. He's got also an overheads off his specials, but that's besides the point. However, he does have a unique trait with this crap. The fake out 236 as, Corsica forward special, where you can influence its direction with one of these inputs, and you can pop up in a different place. This allows for such things as like easy cross-ups, stay in place slow, stay in place dragon rush, dash in, overheads, etc. The problem is that a lot of this is super slow. Like you can see, it takes me 45 frames until I'm active again. So no matter what I do, I'm kind of screwed unless, let me actually go pull him up really quickly. Gohan's assist gives me 40 frames. Still enough that the opponent can reflect out of it, but that covers more or less enough ground that I'm able to continue pressure to an extent. I screwed up that 2H input. I thought I was using Gohan, whatever. But yeah, that's like, it essentially allows me to fairly seamlessly cover a huge hole in my game plan, in essence. Now let's go over something like Gohan, for example. Gohan's neutral, by comparison to Gogeta's, is not great. He has a single beam. He has a 2-arm that goes a third of the screen, roughly. A 5S that can be beaten by beams. And Super Dash, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go check it out, actually. Oh, doesn't even go full screen. Oof. Oh, it does beat Super Dash. That's actually good to know. But you can see my point. Like, compared to the rainstorm of beams that is Gogeta, his assist isn't as great. He doesn't have full screen approaching options. He doesn't have anything that really makes the opponent sweat. The best he does have is air legs, which you have to be in the air for, and you can easily 2H that. Trunks allows me to get right in the opponent's face and start doing stuff. Like, just terrify the fuck out of the opponent. Or I can, if I'm a god, I can also visual confirm and go for this. Basic stuff. Where he doesn't need help is with his already pretty good mix-ups. Trunks' assist, I think, gives you like 30 frames of block time. 31, okay. Gogeta's is 29 then. Okay. But yeah, essentially with Gohan, his mix-ups are already really strong with, that's not it. With the 2H into legs. Because it's like, these are all overheads, or rather, the legs are always overhead. Generally speaking. However, with assist behind him, that would make him gapless. So that essentially allows him to get a little bit more benefit on top of his already good assist. So yeah, again, each of these characters gets something pretty good and something they really need. Again, Gohan being his neutral for what he really wants, and what thing he doesn't really need but is a good benefit is to hit his mix-ups up close. Generally speaking, these are like the general barometers I think that people want for synergy with their teams via strictly assists. We'll get into DHCs later, but that's for in a few minutes. Now, conversely, a character like Nappa really needs a neutral assist behind him. Some characters are really dependent on certain assists to even function, really. Nappa here is a key example. The reason being is because nothing he has can really be good, can really reach full screen. 5H is good reach. That's good. 5M has no reach, 2M has no reach. This is his beam, kind of, but it doesn't really go full screen. People often say that Nappa can be pretty easily bullied from full screen, essentially. That's why you want Trunks behind you, because, or a beam assist, essentially. My friend Bukok, who is a regular Nappa player, who's pretty terrifying with him, actually, he tells me that, yeah, no, you really can't have Nappa without a beam assist behind him or something of high priority. That's B assist. Essentially, yeah, Nappa really wants the neutral behind him. So that's one character that really needs a certain kind of assist to even function. Z really used to supposedly really require beam assist behind him in order to even function. That was back in like 2018, early 2019, before the heavy buffs really started coming for Z Broly, so there is that. But it used to be the case that Z Broly really wanted a beam assist. Probably just for the combos. Can I get a decent Z Broly combo going? Let's find out. So essentially, you'd want the beam assist to help Broly even complete his combos to begin with. They're also really good for his block strings, but essentially, you would really wanted the beam assist to help with this combo ender especially. So that way, it got you to the corner, and Broly is really terrifying in the corner. I'm not a Z Broly expert, so I think that's the only thing he really wants it for. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. There's probably 5 Z Broly players in the audience already who can tell me otherwise, because That's how it goes with this fucking character. Okay, so there's generally a handful of situations where you really want to use an assist behind you. Combos, block pressure, and neutral. Those are generally like the three big ones. Like Oki isn't really dependent on having an assist behind you, but you can use it if you want to. Other such things like that. There's generally like also like certain scenarios where you can option select some characters, but that's specific stuff that I'm unaware of. Anyway, so generally most assists in the game can do each of these attributes fairly well. Like if you just want something behind you in order to like cause pressure, like yeah, Trunks' beam causes 30 frames of block stun, which is fine. That's like the average barometer for like that's the average number I would say for like block stun assist or block stun off of an assist. Whereas with Adult Gohan, you get 40. I think Kid Buu gets like upwards of like 50. He's like still probably the best one in the game for that, honestly. But yeah, that's besides the point. However, if you want to use Gohan for neutral, he has range. He's like half screen, but he's obviously not competing with Trunks, who is full screen. So as you can see, like every assist can do things to a decent capacity, but some of them really excel more than others for, you know, what they're designed to do. And I guess I have this written down. Some characters do really need help with one of these attributes. Yeah, I mean, kind of redundant me from 5 minutes ago because I already covered that, but yeah, I agree. Okay, so I don't know the inputs offhand, but essentially, Ultra Instinct Goku really benefits, especially from a lockdown assist. I'll go into details about it later, but essentially, Goku gets heavy benefits off of the flip mix-ups. The problem is that it's a flip. He's only really like Ki Blast Invincible, I think. You can release at any time in order to do it. Do Bus Driver. This is a loose thing, but you can essentially... Oh, I just figured out the input, yay. Essentially, you want to have... I don't know, I'm just gonna guess this input, like something like that. That way you can mix up your opponent better, because otherwise this is kind of... It looks scary as hell, and it kind of is sometimes, but without an assist behind you, it's like, yeah, you can do Super Dash, you can vanish, you can jump out. It's not really the biggest deal. But with assist behind you, suddenly you have a... What, a 6-way? At least a 6-way. Between a command grab that's unseeable, a plus on block move that's +3. Why is that +3? Holy shit. Or just other such bullshit. I think you can do this. That's terrifying. Or you can also do like this as like an additional flip over mix-up. This character is so dumb. But otherwise, Goku Ultra Instinct is kind of so-so with just like straight up block pressure. Like he's got obviously a 2L that most characters have. He's got a 2M, which is low. 5M is eventually low if you do it. But aside from that, he doesn't really have anything like too terrifying by himself because he's no Blue Goku with instant command grabs. So like if he wants to access like the really terrifying shit, he really needs a character behind him. Hopefully that explains what I'm trying to convey here, but yeah. Okay, let's see if I can get this first try. But essentially, Zamasu is another character really benefits from a certain assist. In this case, these days it's really a number of assists, but I think Vegeta is one that really benefits him because the high hit stun of... That's not the right assist. Okay, so the high hit stun of his A assist really helps out with... oh god, that's not right. That's like 60 frames, I think, minus the tech out. It really helps him with his Blaze of Judgment combo, which is his meter dump option, essentially. I used to do this team all the time. Well, minus Blue Goku on point, but you know, details. Oh my god, that was it. There we go. I got it eventually. And just wrap it up. There we go. But yeah, essentially, Vegeta's assist really lets you do that easily, like mid-screen. Some characters like Beam Assist allow you to do it like only really at the corner, but yeah, this is an example of like a character that really benefits heavily from a certain type of assist. And lastly, Cell benefits super well, I don't know if he benefits a great deal, but I think he does benefit a pretty good deal from a Beam Assist behind him. Granted, he's already got an okay neutral, okay-ish because of like the Air Command Man Wave and other such options like this to beat Super Dash, but in terms of actually approaching, having an assist going off and doing his 2S, this move, since it covers so much goddamn ground, it's really good. It's almost a lariat, but it's not quite one, if you know what I mean. You know, Bardock's lariat because it was the fuck neutral button for so long. Essentially, this allows him to go near the full screen and they can approach. Problem is, if you do this move, it gets beat by Super Dash because, you know, we Ki Blast. But if you have Beam Assist behind you, you don't really have to worry about that. Like, you can just toss out the beam, do this to approach, and essentially start scaring the fuck out of your opponent, and boom, you're in. Essentially. Or at least, like, you're more within range to, like, threaten with crap like this, you know what I mean? Just an example. Okay, and we covered synergy through strictly assists, where, you know, you have the three kinds, you know, combo, lockdown, and neutral. Now, we're going to cover DHC synergy, where you basically, that you get certain properties with DHCing certain moves into each other. I've already shown the loose example last time with Z Broly and base Goku. Obviously, because Z Broly's level 1 super keeps him pinned down long enough that you can very easily go in for, like, essentially whatever the hell you want. It's really good, actually. In fact, I could probably almost kill a character with this team, actually. Hang on. This should work. It took a good amount of time longer to do than I expected, actually. I got a little sucked into doing that combo, actually. Could probably be optimized more, but whatever. Okay, so now essentially the reason I actually did pick up Gogeta, feeding back into my point from earlier, another example of good DHC synergy is exactly with Big Bang Attack going into Gohan's level 1. So, essentially, it looks something like this. I'll combo into it in a minute, but this is the loose idea, if I don't suck at the execution. There we go. So essentially what this does, I actually kind of messed up my input a little bit there actually, but what this essentially in essence does is it allows me to tag into Gohan, do his awakening level 1. Since it doesn't really grant you pressure usually, my idea was let's try out Cell for Gogeta, since Gogeta's level 1 super takes a really long time to actually fully come out. Like, I can still kind of showcase it. Hang on. Like, tagging a Gohan, and like the opponent is still recovering. Obviously, I didn't have a chance there to do it because I'm pretty sure you can't DHC on some moves until like after the first hit. It's weird, but like if I were to do this, yeah, obviously that will work because I already did a combo. But the essence is that I can allow Gohan to tag in safely, get his power up, and be able to apply pressure at the same time. That's essentially what I'm trying to convey. But yeah, that's pretty neat. I know you can do this off of other things too, like Frieza's Death Ball if you're one of the 2 Frieza players in the world. But that's the long and short of it, essentially. But yeah, essentially, usually, let me illustrate this actually with Trunks. Normally with doing this, the opponent has a chance to up tech either out of the corner or up tech up and get to relative safety. With this setup, this allows me to essentially tag into Gohan, get his level up, because, you know, Gohan is a much different character with a level up under his belt. Like, if I can actually showcase this, Gohan's like general bread and butter combo with no level up under his belt, like in a corner like this, 4185, and just even 1 level up under his belt. If you're not going for the insane corner combo, suddenly you have an additional 150 points of damage. Another way to illustrate this is obviously off of EX legs. Level 0 Gohan only goes this far, and with level under his belt, you go a decent amount farther. It also does more damage too, so yeah, on top of the obvious thing that you can teleport, so, you know, there's that. These are just things that, like, justify, like, why you want to get Gohan to level 1 as soon as possible. And generally, the DHC tag is one of the better ones to do it, especially since Gohan's assist gets you, you know, that's not it, B assist, not that one. Okay, so now I want to cover something that is colloquially referred to as cells. Not cell the character, this refers to like two-man cells, you know, that sort of terminology. So, cells in Dragon Ball FighterZ often referred to like two characters, can sometimes be three, but usually just two, where their synergy is so good together that they are often considered a really good pair, and as a result, they're called a cell, a two-man cell in this instance. This is where like their DHC synergy is really good. They have both of them have assists that essentially like complement each other in a really really good way. In this instance, the first one I'm going to show is a pretty common one these days: Kid Buu and Ultra Instinct Goku. Not kidding. Right, so I've already shown a thing off earlier with Goku really wanting a lockdown assist, right? So essentially, Kid Buu delivers that and then some. 57 frames of block run. God, that's actually way more than I thought it fucking was. Jesus Christ. But yeah, essentially this, if I have any sort of execution, maybe you should like time it more with the heavy. Yeah. Actually, what's the star frames? 57. Damn. No wonder it's kind of more iffy. But essentially, Kid Buu's assist is really solid in that it grants a lot of block stun, such that, you know, obviously you can do this and go for heavy mix-ups. And it's just good enough to allow for some pretty decent combo extensions. Let me see if I can get one off. I dropped it there, but you did see that Kid Buu's assist did come out, and honestly, like, its timing isn't really that bad, so yeah. It doesn't really have too much of a bad range, actually. And on the flip side of this coin, Ultra Instinct Goku's assist with Kid Buu. Now, you might be asking which one. Well, first of all, yes, they're both good to help out Kid Buu, but essentially, that is not it. God damn it, using multiple characters. The A assist. This is particularly notorious right now. This assist is fully invincible. I'm not sure from what frame upwards, but this move is really goddamn good. So first of all, pretty much infinite vertical hitbox. In fact, I could probably showcase that to a pretty good capacity, actually. Yeah, I see that? We're like all on top of the screen. It's still fucking connected. It is that good. The fact that it is such a tall vertical hitbox means that you can use it and your opponent is cut off at the escape route. It's got a lot of hits done as well. That's a lot of hits, actually. Holy crap. But yeah, essentially, it's a good defensive tool. It's a good sort of offensive tool in that you can toss it out, and if it lands, you're probably gonna get a good combo. Like, I practically fell asleep during that one's hit confirm, and it still worked. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, this is what's typically considered a good cell. Another reason being is because their DHCs operate pretty well off each other in that they're pretty consistent. There's not really too much of like a reasonable reason for that. It's just that they're consistent and never really miss. If you go level 1, level 3 with one of them, they'll generally both hit. It's not ever an issue, but yeah, that's a pretty big one right now. So another quote-unquote popular cell, and this one is because of one specific player named Fenrich, or Fenrity. I have no idea how to actually pronounce that. But it's, in essence, it's selling Super Saiyan Vegeta. Super Saiyan Vegeta because it allows for some pretty good combo opportunities for a cell in the corner, especially with going for like shit like this. It allows for some pretty good like deflect bait. Like, cells got really good damage and really good limbs. So like if the opponent tries to like reflect out, or if the opponent tries to reflect out of Vegeta's assist, 2M City, and you can kind of just kill your opponent. So it makes your opponent want to respect the assist more. You would think that despite the fact that I've used these two characters for a good amount of time, I would have more input on this, but I really don't. As far as I know, those are the major two reasons. And also, Vegeta can utilize Cell's assist to some good capacity. I mean, obviously, there's usual shit like this. I'm really just making this up. Do that, DHC into Cell, maybe. I'm really just making this up, but yeah, in essence, that allows you to get pretty nominal combos. As well as Cell's beam assist, it's not amazing, but it does hit a pretty good arc. so it's decent enough to be considered a beam, but it's a little bit on the slower side, so, you know, details. And also, both their DHCs complement each other pretty well, because they're both pretty instant, track the opponent, and you'll never really drop it, so, you know, there is that. And this one, I am so glad is more or less phased out. It's the good old Bardock and GT Goku of Season 2. Oh man, this one was everywhere. Holy fucking shit. So, Bardock and GT Goku is complement each other like peanut butter and chocolate. It is ridiculous. The reason being is because GT's assist, it's got, from what I understand, infinite range. That's a moot point though. What's important is the angle. The angle might seem like it's not great for covering like a lateral distance, but since it's up at an angle, if you're familiar with Season 2, it allowed for the old snapback meta. If I were to, let's see, I don't know anything about Bardock. I barely know his buttons, so I'll just try to make this up. Yeah, essentially, if the opponent's always locked to like a certain amount of time before they can come out, and it all comes out at the same time. Auto time GT's assist to keep them locked down when they come in, and Bardock can just keep pressuring them all day, every day. It's kind of ridiculous. It's more phased out now because luckily, you can now time your incoming character manually, like come out sooner, come out later. So that way, this is not nearly as powerful anymore, but it's still good. Bardock still benefits greatly from an assist such as this because, you know, you can complement this. Where is that input? What the hell? Oh, it's forward. No wonder. Keep your opponent locked down so he can put plus frames, etc. Yeah, as well as the fact that GT Goku is pretty still good. I don't think anyone will argue he's not. But he also gets access to, he did have access to Bardock's good Larry assist. Nowadays, he gets access to the even better, that is not the right character, hang on, Tyrant Lancer, because plus frames, a lot of plus frames. Doesn't go full screen anymore. It didn't need to, but that's still pretty goddamn good. Yeah, actually, how much block does that fucking thing have? 46, that's more than my Gohan assist, holy fuck. Yeah, that's terrifying. But yeah, this was way more powerful back in Season 2, especially when GT Goku had the Spirit Bomb that gave a hard knockdown. If you don't know what that means, yeah, that means essentially the opponent always had to guess like a 6-way mix-up from GT Goku. It's not fun. Okay, so that's more or less it for the major synergy ideas. Now, what I'm going to cover right now is what is generally characters' assist that benefits more like the universal system as a whole. I literally just came up with this. They probably have an official name, but I'm just gonna call these like universal assists, I guess. I don't know. It's dumb, but essentially these are characters that or assist types that have always been in the game that have always worked pretty well. An old one is Yamcha because he used to be the only real assist of his type besides Kid Buu, and Yamcha's is way faster. Attack startup, 19 frames. That eclipses Trunks at 36. That's like double the speed. You can do this shit on reaction to a lot of stuff. It's good. So anyway, essentially an old school tactic. Super Dash, call Yamcha. Even if they reflect, you're still in your opponent's face because of the huge amount of blocks done. That's actually way less than I thought it was going to be, but 31, there we go, 40 frames. You do that, make your opponent block, you have more time to just get in. This works essentially well because if you super dash and your opponent doesn't react, you're just in. This, I don't want to say this carried some players, but it really did. This was always really good. Like, gonna be completely honest. And the other type of universal assist, I guess, is beam assist, or at least one particular avenue of beam assist that has always been pretty decent. So first, I'm just gonna get the opponent into a basic combo with Gogeta. I did it again too soon, what the hell. There we go. So essentially what just happened was you can time it so that way the beam comes out when the opponent is towards the ground, so you can use that as a general universal combo extension. So with this, I'm going to be able to do this. And I can just kind of do whatever. Sure, let's do I wanted to do Trunks, but I guess Yamcha's coming out right now. Why not? But yeah, in essence, this means that like characters who've always had like universal like who use the universal bread and butter combo, you know, 2M, 5M, jump 5M, 2L, you know, that general like Goku type combo. Essentially, beam assists have always been able to allow you to get enough hits on the ground, so you can like a Dragon Rush ender and get a decent combo extension at the end. Now, this is like just general synergy stuff. Since I'm using Adult Gohan on my team, people always say, dude, you should run Adult Gohan's A assist. I'm like, no, because that's like the one thing people ever use his A assist for the super dash thing. It's essentially the same thing as what I mentioned with Yamcha earlier. Oh yeah, this is especially stupid because if you do actually land the opponent, you have more enough time to confirm into a combo. God, Yamcha's assist is so dumb, but it's like the original one of its type, so I can't blame it too much. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, that's just the, that's like the universal, like, synergy, I guess. System synergy. Let's call it that. System synergy. That works a little bit better. Alright, guys, hope with that, you've learned a thing or two in my mad ramblings. I like to think I had this constructed half decently well. I mean, here's my notes again if you ever want to reference it. It's not too bad. Now, if you ever gonna ask, will this team work? If you run any characters that don't use Super Saiyan Vegeta's B assist, I say this as a former Vegeta player myself, you're good. Generally speaking, you're pretty good. Just don't run triple C assists, because that will, unless you're building something specific around it, it's not good, because then the C assists take forever to recharge, and you're always out of assists, so it's not great. But that's outside of that thing. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys learned a thing or two. This has been a general guide to synergy. I'll probably make a separate video at some point for like specific team building. I mean, I know Lord and I and the Kill Sage have made much better videos about the subject. I'll leave their links to their videos down in the comments if I don't remind me. But yeah, see ya.